All right, Wednesday, November 4th, 2015. Derek Davis and Rob Veno of Rob Veno Sports, sportsbettingtoday.us. We've got one game in college football tonight, game 303, 304, Ohio at Bowling Green. Bowling Green, 20-point favorite in this one with a total of 67.5. The game has gotten as high as 21. As far as injuries, Ohio really dinged up, especially on defense. Also a little thin on offensive line and tight end. Bowling Green relatively healthy. A couple question marks on the offensive line tonight, though. Weather should not be a factor in this one. Should be a nice night for football. Mid-60s winds, 4 to 8, southeast. Nothing really weather-wise should affect this game. Rob, speaking of Ohio's defense, they've really struggled as of late, giving up a lot of points. Obviously, injuries have played a factor there. Bowling Green, a team that seems to really be hitting on all cylinders at the right time here in early November. Although that win over Marshall for Frank Solich's team looks better and better as Marshall continues to march along. I'm tempted personally to take Ohio and the 20 points, but I do have a lot to overcome, don't I, Rob?
Yeah, you're certainly right about that, Derek. There's a lot to overcome here for the Ohio University Bobcats in tonight's matchup. The Bowling Green offense, ever since Dino Babers has taken over as the head coach, has been absolutely incredibly explosive. And you take a look at what Ohio U has faced in terms of offenses this season, and they really hadn't had to play many teams, if any at all, that possess the explosiveness that Bowling Green does. You go through their list of opponents and you see Idaho, Marshall, Southeast Louisiana, Minnesota, Akron, Miami of Ohio. Then all of a sudden, their past two games before the bye, they had to face some MAC offenses. Western Michigan took them apart, scored 49 points, won by 5 touchdowns. Buffalo, led by quarterback Joe Licata and a strong running game, put up 41 points. The problem for Ohio U in this game is not the ability to score, because behind quarterback Darius Vick and their balanced offense, they can score. But the problem for them is going to be what's been the problem for almost everybody else Bowling Green has played, and that's getting behind early and trying to catch up without the type of offense that's built to catch up. Bowling Green can mount points on opponents in a hurry. We've seen that all season long. Matt Johnson, Travis Green, Roger Lewis, that trio of players, skill position players right there, have certainly been phenomenal this season. Bowling Green has already clinched the east side of the MAC conference. They're 4-0. They'll go for 5-0 tonight, and then they're done inside their division. They'll play all Western foes after this. So the game is not necessarily a must game for Bowling Green in any way, shape, or form, but I think to complete the undefeated divisional record and at home tonight, you'll see them play very hard. On national television, of course, they want to show off their offense to the entire nation here. For Tom Osborne's team, the play calling situation is about a 50-50 balance here all season long. They run the ball nearly 51.5% of the time. They throw it 49.5% of the time, or 48.5% of the time, excuse me. And that type of milk the clock mentality just doesn't work against this Bowling Green team, which needs less than 2 minutes to go 75 yards and get a score. The number, as you said, is bounced back and forth between 20.5 and 21. The total took a huge hit early on, went from 62 all the way to 68. We've seen some take back down to 67. In one spot, I saw 66.5 earlier. I think that's more or less some money trying to find a middle, because, as you said, Derek, there's no problem with the weather here tonight. I don't think there's any way for Ohio U. Both of these teams are off a bye. They're both well rested, ready to go up. But I don't think there's any way for Ohio U to slow Matt Johnson and company down. Therefore, I think Bowling Green wins this game pretty big. I personally would lean toward the over in this contest, sitting now at 67. Bowling Green probably good for around 48, 49 points. And as I said earlier, Ohio U's got plenty of capability on the offensive side, and Bowling Green's defense has not stopped many folks this year either. So I look for a high-scoring game. probably landing somewhere in the vicinity of, 73 to 78 points.